But it's a good one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that new album too, man.
Yeah, next month or so, give or take. I can't exactly remember what the release date was for it, but
yeah, it's coming up. So
yeah, I remember we were looking at all we were kind of like roughly going through some release dates and stuff, and I can't exactly remember when that one was coming out, but I know it's coming out soon. I mean, between the Devil Driver and stuff like that, and then Spirit, Avenged Sevenfold, stuff like that. Now I want to know because we started talking about it again. Well, looks like we're into May now. Hang on.
Or 1st of June or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to Metalheads United.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Quit eavesdropping on our conversation. I'm just kidding.
Right? Yeah. Hey, we were talking about this before we even got on here.
Yeah, so we just carried over. Like we just hit the live button and kept talking.
Yeah, thank God we didn't have. Thank God we realized we were on the air and didn't do anything stupid like on a hot mic or something. You know what I
mean? Let's do something stupid on a hot mic. Really?
No, never.
Come on.
No, we've never done that.
Come on, man.
Oh, there it is.
And do the thing.
Yeah. It says here the new Spirit of Drift is August 18th. That's a little further out than I
thought.
Thought.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, further out than I thought, but
happy birthday to me then. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Hell yeah. You get a new album. You get a new album.
Everybody gets a new album. Speaking of which, if you guys weren't following us, we actually did our show Saturday because we had a guest on the show, so we kind of moved it to Saturday.
Yeah.
A band from Finland called Archfire. If you hadn't heard of those guys, go check them out. Definitely worth checking out.
Absolutely,
amazing album. Like,
definitely worth your guys' time.
Yeah, it's a trip, dude. Like, oh man, especially Alsac? Is that
Alsac? Yeah.
He had me rolling, dude.
He was a trip.
Yeah, that dude was funny.
He was a trip.
All the actors in their thing as far as relaxation. That was kind of like funny too, because it just goes to show you like everybody why. But yeah, it was good stuff. You want to check that out. I will have that up on Spotify hopefully by Sunday. So I'll try to get that. There's a lot of stuff this week, so I hadn't had a chance to really step. I still got to edit some of the stuff from Rockin' Pie, man. So editing is like the big thing. That's one of the reasons why I like doing the live thing, because editing really does take a lot of, kudos to the people. What's going on? We good?
I was just checking the same thing. I thought I had frozen for a second. Sorry, that's why I wasn't talking. I thought
no, you were good. You were. I said you.
Sorry, I thought I had locked up for a second. That's my bad. Sorry about that, guys. We had some rain. We had some rain move through earlier. I was just making sure everything was good. So
You still got that rain induced internet. So.
right.
Uh,
I should have. I actually should have reset my router, but I mean, everybody's been home and doing this, doing that, and
yeah.
watching stuff. I didn't want to throw anything into upheaval, so I just kind of let it roll. So thankfully, the rain's all but gone now. I think so. If there's anything out there, it's light. So, but yeah, we have excuse me, we have quite a bit to get to this week, especially on the hit and the road segment. I made sure that even though we didn't do a regular show last week, because like Jason said, we did have our guests on from Finland,
Mhm.
so we went ahead and just went with the interview last week on Saturday. So I made sure to keep up with all of the concert announcements and everything else. So hitting the road when we get there is going to be from the 8th through the 21st. So it's going to be
Yeah.
quite the list.
Birthdays.
Birthdays too? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I don't know why everybody wanted to have sex in July the year before, but
Right.
but it seemed to be the.
Lots of summer fucking. So
Well, I mean, it took up a whole page, so
holy
that's
smokes.
yeah. So it's pretty. And there's actually one. Damn, there's one on here I forgot. So
Uh-oh.
actually, I gotta look that up real quick because it was I screenshot it and I forgot to put it on here. Oh
Oh wait, that screenshot you sent to me? Hang on.
no, it wasn't that one. It was.
Oh, it was a
Oh,
different one? Okay.
no, maybe it was that one. It was that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually see when it was. It was the 20th. So let me try to see if I can see if they got the full name. Oh no, Metallica. Cool. All right. Nope, not the same one. Oh, weird. Yeah, I think this is these guys right here. So, uh, I mean, I'll get to that date. I can just run over to it real quick. So, anyway, speaking of albums, we didn't really get a chance to talk about too much last week. I know you've had a chance to listen to the new Metallica, and I know that's kind of like everywhere right now. So,
Yeah, I did.
what you think?
Uh it was I thought it was a solid album. Um I thought Hardwired was better.
I did too. Yeah.
I enjoyed Hardwire better. There was some good stuff on the new Metallica album, but it got a little cookie cutter. I think right there in the middle. I think, but overall, yeah. I mean, it was a solid album. I'll need to listen to it like a few more times, like I do with a lot of
Hmm.
other stuff to see if things to see start to like separate themselves from the pack. But
Right.
you know, what I did like about this album though was the overall it was, and I'll give this new album this over Hardwired, that overall from start to finish this newer album was a lot more. They spent a lot more time up tempo than they did on Hardwired, so I did that. But yeah, there was some stuff right there in the middle of the album that got a little cookie cutter.
I think it
But
was. I guess in probably lighter terms to me, I would probably say it was more melodic than Hardwire. Um,
I would agree with that. Yeah.
yeah, it seemed like you just it was more. Uh, it wasn't as more of the brash and sound. It was
Hmm.
more of a mellow.
Yeah.
Um, it almost felt like it was a harder version of the load and reload era. Maybe
Okay.
that's a better way to put that, I guess. But
Okay.
it wasn't quite. The thing that I hate is people like, oh well, they have been no good since Master of Puppets. I'm like, okay, first off, you're talking about a time when you had Dave Mustaine writing stuff, and you had Cliff Burton still in the band, which are two different players from what you currently have. So I
Hmm.
mean, it's not going to sound the same. I don't know why people can't understand that. Like you out and just start shredding like Dave Mustaine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, you can't expect that from Kurt. But I got a story about Kurt and shredding here on here,
Hmm.
and I'm sure
Yeah.
if anybody's been following those guys, they've seen the backlash he's been getting. So,
Yeah.
so
I don't know, and I also don't know why it is that people can't seem to get past the first, like,
I don't either, man. It's like
everybody
you have to
wants.
evolve. I mean, at some
You
point.
do have to evolve, and I mean, when it comes to Metallica, I mean, we're talking about a band that's been around for 40 years, and they are pushing 60. Some of them, hell, I don't even know how old all of them are. Hell, a couple of them might already be 60. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know what their
I,
ages are. So, um, you
if
know,
they're not there, so
yeah,
uh,
so I mean, they've been a band, they've been making music for 40 years, and like you said, you have to evolve. Now,
mhm,
don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and say that they probably didn't have some missteps along the way. Load and Reload had some solid songs.
mhm,
We all know how Saint Anger sounded, but
mhm,
that's the thing. It was just, there are songs on Saint Anger that I like, that were
mhm,
good songs. Overall, the album sounded like garbage. I think that's pretty much. I don't think
mhm,
anyone is really gonna dispute that. But there were still some solid songs on the album. Death Magnetic had some good stuff on it. I like I said, there were a lot of songs I liked on Hardwired. So, and there were some good songs on this album too. There has been stuff on every album they've put out. Now, have they had an album that has had as good songs as like Master of Puppets, and I know this is a polarizing album. The Black Album had five really, really good songs on it that were, at minimum, that were very popular worldwide and still are to this day.
right.
Why that album, that there's a reason why that album has sold 31, 32 million copies
Mhm,
worldwide. So love it, hate it, whatever, you know, to the people who think that Metallica haven't been good since Master of Puppets, that's your opinion. But at the same time, I think it's a little short sighted. And to give Metallica so much shit when they've been around since '81, we're in 2023. You're talking about
right.
a 42-year career. No band is going to sound the same on every album across 40 some odd years. Slayer didn't sound the same. Slayer didn't sound. Slayer had their issues. A lot of people wanted to shit on Diabolus and Musica because it was like a new metal album. So you know all of our hell, Megadeth had Super Collider. I hate that album. So, and has had missteps. So I mean, Megadeth had Risk, and Megadeth had Cryptic Writings. Dave
Mm,
Mustaine called the Risk album Risk for a reason, because he knew it was a department they had normally been playing, and he knew something that wouldn't be as well received. So he named it Risk for a reason. These bands have to try different things. If they work out, fine. If they don't, you move on and you try to get back to what got you to the dance. We talked about and the Stage all the time. I'm not a fan of that album.
right.
So no band is going to bat 1,000. And but I really I think it's becoming fashionable now just to shit on Metallica, and
It's kind of become like a Nickelback thing. It's like everybody
kinda,
kind of just shits on them just because, well, hey, everybody else does it. It's like
yeah,
that's which is no reason to shit on a band, period. But
and
uh,
and, and I mean, hell, we've made jokes about Nickelback on this show plenty of
well,
times, but I mean,
well,
I don't.
they've even said they know they're the bunch, just they don't care. It's like
Right.
they said, hell, if we were that thin skinned, we wouldn't still be playing.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, and and
Millions of people, album sales disagree with whatever we think. So,
right,
uh,
so I mean, whether it's Metallica and their $1.2 billion in career ticket sales, or Nickelback and the millions of albums they've sold, or the other metal band love to hate Five Finger Death Punch, which you and I are
Mhm.
both fans of, and I don't
Right.
apologize for that. So I like who I like, and that's fine.
Not,
So I mean,
not,
you, yeah,
not, that wasn't that was probably their strikeout for me. So hopefully they don't stick with that format, but we'll see. So
yeah. So
I mean, it's just when you mellow yourself down to where you can have a country artist open for you, that's pretty bad for a metal band, in my
yeah,
opinion. But you know,
yeah.
I'm all for like you know genres crossing that stuff at festivals, But when you're like putting together an actual tour, I mean, it's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
don't know. I don't know. I'm not. I'm a little cautious about the direction that Five Finger Death
mm,
Punch is heading in. But I mean, hey, if that's the choice they make, I mean, that's up to them. I mean, they've got,
um,
I mean, they've got they're 9 albums into their career now. I mean, so I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if that's the direction they go in, I mean, more power to them. Is it going to be something that we're going to gravitate towards? Probably not. But I mean, you know,
yeah,
we have plenty of other music by them to listen to if we so choose. So, who knows? I mean, hell, for all we knew, Ivan Moody was about to retire anyway.
right.
So
Oh man. So,
and
while we're talking about recent albums, I will say this: that new Overkill album's Scorched. Oh my god, dude, that album was probably it's up there.
oh,
It's probably in my top five right now. It's so
it
good.
was so good. Oh man, it was so good.
Yeah, I was like, and I go back to doing that story where we, Bobby Blitz is like, we'll know when it's time, to hang it because everybody asked him, are they getting ready to hang it up or whatever? Man, we'll know when it's time. Like, and by that album, they're nowhere near ready, ready to hang anything up. So, uh,
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Ellsworth. I mean, he's 63 now, and don't get me wrong. His voice is a lot more than it used to be, like at the beginning of
mhm,
at the beginning of their career. But I mean, as his voice is still just as powerful as
mhm,
it has been, you know, for as far back as I can remember. So,
mhm,
I mean, as far as his vocals, I don't see any sign of him slowing down.
yeah,
And I mean, you talk about a thrash album. That was it right there.
yeah. There was
So
like,
yeah,
there's like I don't know if they've ever done this. I need to go back and research a little bit, but I would love to see Steve Souza kind of guest vocal on one of their deals, or vice versa. Have Bobby on an Exodus song.
yeah,
I think they compliment. I think that would complement each other pretty well.
I
So
think so.
yeah,
I think
and,
so.
interesting. I don't know why I just thought of it. I was uh, just throwing that out
It's a
there.
hell of an idea, though. I like
Yeah,
it.
Jack Gibson. Hey man.
Hey, we
uh,
could we could we could drop him a line.
no. All right, I guess we should get to it since this may be a little lengthier than normal, having to do two
Yeah,
weeks worth of stuff. So,
yeah, a little bit.
but anyway, we'll kick into some birthdays here from the 8th through the 21st. So on April 8th, they had Izzy Stradlin, guitarist for Guns N' Roses, Donita Sparks, singer, guitarist, and songwriter for L7, Paul Gray, bassist for Slipknot, who we all know passed away in 2010, and Alexi Leho, guitarist and singer for Children of Bottom Synergy. Of course, he passed away in 21. April 9th, we had Craig Mabit, vocalist for Escape to Fate. We had Melissa Wolf, vocalist for Sepsis. Nick, oh God, I'm going to kill this name. Bozetta Revic. I think that's right. I don't know. But he is the guitarist for Spillage. So I apologize to Tony and Elvin and all them over there if I mispronounced Nick's last name. So don't hate me. I'm the cornbread metalhead for a reason. So,
That's well. It's
uh,
not an easy last name to pronounce
yeah,
anyway.
it's not. Yeah. So, anyway, April 10th, we had Warren DeMartini, guitarist for Rat, Mike Mushak, guitarist for Stained. I didn't know he was in Newstead. It was kind of interesting to find that out. And then, of course, I
Hmm.
knew he was in Saint Osonia. So, Um, then we had Jimmy Masterbo, guitarist for Methane, our friends over
Nice.
there. And we had Carter Laird, vocalist for As the Structure Fails. Then we had Tim Herb Alexander, drummer for Promise. April 11th, we had Oliver Riddell, bassist for Ramstein. And then we had April 12th, we had Dee Verney, bassist and songwriter for Overkill. Talking about those guys.
Mm-hmm.
There's a birthday. I actually forgot that was in there. Sebnam Farah, singer for Volvox. Of course, that band disbanded in '94, so haven't didn't stick around too long, but
No.
nonetheless. April 13th, we had Randy Piper, guitarist for Wasp, not Roddy Piper, Randy Piper.
Right.
Bill D'Angelo, guitarist for Femme Fatale. He passed away in 2005. April 14th, we had Richie Blackmore, guitarist for Rainbow and Deep Purple. And we had Christian Alvestam, vocalist for Scar Symmetry and Miseration. April 15th, we had Frankie Poulon, bass player for The Darkness. And we had Ben Kasika, guitarist for Skillet, and Phil Labonte, vocalist for All That Remains. April 16th, we had Lee Kerslake, a drummer for Uriah Heep and Ozzy Osbourne. Fortunately, he passed away in 2020. April 17th, we had Maynard James Keenan, vocalist for Tool and A Perfect Circle. And we had Michael Ackerfeld, a guitarist and vocalist for Opeth. April 18th, we had Mick Swada, a guitarist for Bullet Boys. Kelly Hansen, vocalist for Hurricane. Jace Fincher Jr., bassist for South Gang. Heidi Shepard, vocalist for Butcher Babies. Paul Raw, I guess is right. Keyboardist for Spillage. Spillage, I apologize. I know butchered two of your members' names today. So they was like, I ain't never going back on that fucking show. Mark Tremonti, guitarist and singer for Alter Bridge, Tremonti, and Creed. Of course, he's just a singer at Tremonti, but anyway.
Mm-hmm.
April 19th, Rod Morgenstern, drummer for Winger. Tony Martin, vocalist for Black Sabbath from 87 to 91, and then from 93 to 97. So two stints there for Black Sabbath. We had Rude Jolie, guitarist for Within Temptation. Of course, that may be a Y instead of a J sound since that's Within Temptation, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about that. April 20th, we had Mike Portnoy, drummer for Dream Theater, among about 20 other projects.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Then April 21st, which is today, we had Yuka Nevalainen, drummer for Nightwish, and I apologize if I butchered that last name. But then we had Christian Cici Coma, drummer for Black Veil Brides. And then we also, on the 20th, go back in here and look at this real quick. I'm not going to have a last name because I couldn't find it, but Nacio from Life Denied also had a birthday there, and I'm not sure what instrument Nacio plays, but there we go. Still wanted to call it out because I follow the band, and I feel like that's part of my job. So
Right.
anyway, so that is the birthdays. If you had any personal shout outs.
Yep, I do have one. My oldest stepson Seth, his 24th birthday was 2 days ago. So
Cool. Well,
happy birthday to him. Yeah, we're gonna be going out tomorrow for that. So looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, happy birthday to all of those. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. And like always, if anybody listening had a birthday, happy birthday to you as well.
Yeah, a lot of birthdays of friends of the show this week.
Pretty cool.
A lot of them.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of friends of the show, I've kind of reached out to a few of the bands just to kind of see what they're up to. And I don't know if you know go out or Avaris. Sorry.
Say that one more time.
Avaris just put a new single out, so I don't know if you.
Oh, did they? No,
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's actually on the playlist. So
nice. Hell yeah, dude.
I said, "Oh, we got this new single dropping. Actually dropping later on after midnight. I said, all right, cool. So I said, I'll be up. I'll just add it to the playlist.
Totally.
So that's what I did. So and
Ab-
it's a really good track too. So
absolutely.
look at I'm surprised they put something out that fast. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Well,
They're gonna
hey,
make they finna trivia this motherfucker. Man, we're gonna put something out every year.
hey, sign me up for that.
Yeah, it's cool. And also just talked to John O'Connor from One of the Last today too. So they're actually finishing up mixing on their stuff. So hopefully in the next couple of months we'll be talking about some new stuff from those guys. So
That's good
they are
news too.
they are doing a full length. They did tell me that. So
Oh, that's good.
because I know they length or an EP, but he did tell me it was going to be a full length. So he said
Excellent.
they're about halfway done with mixing and stuff. So
Cool.
on the tail end of everything, man, I'm ready to hear some stuff from those guys
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
those
And we
kids are great. So
and yeah, and we were Spillage has announced their fourth album, Phase 4. So
yes. So
uh
man, a
don't
lot of
think there's a release date. They did release art
the
and the
artwork and
album
stuff.
title.
Yeah,
So
I don't think they've released a date yet. So uh,
yeah. But
and our buddies
album
and our
album album cover is top notch, yeah.
yeah, and our buddies Ashes Rain are actually in studio too. So
They are.
yeah, so we're actually looking at some. We're actually looking at music from personal, friends
Yeah,
of the
we
show
yeah, we
instead of just looking through the
right.
heavy music HQ and stuff. So we actually get the firsthand
Yeah.
news sometimes. So of course, I'm not going to
And I did
spill anything I'm not supposed to, but
right, of course not. And I did see on Facebook where Hidden Intent is already starting to record new music for their next album.
yeah. So which I mean they're due because they was 21 on their last release, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've been 2 years, so
Yeah,
Hidden,
those guys are gonna be busy soon, because they're recording an album.
yeah, they're doing a couple
They
festivals.
yeah, they're gonna be playing Wacken, so that's huge
Whacking,
for
yeah.
them. I'm excited for them. Of course I'm excited for all of our friends, but I'm really excited so to be able to play that. But hell, we may it sounds like we're not too far away from possible return guests on the show.
Yeah, actually, I was hit John up about that. I said, "Hey, man, when you get ready, we'd love you to be the first to return."
Yeah.
So I'm
I
sure
mean
he's down with that too. So
it would only be fitting for our first guest ever to be our first repeat guest. I mean that would
exactly,
just
yeah,
tie everything together,
yeah,
come full circle. So hell yeah.
So 2 years ago, he was the first guest. So that's crazy to think that, man. It's like,
Hmm. And it was actually right around this time of year,
mhm.
give or take. But
Well, no, I guess it was just a year ago, right? It was just last year, right?
yes,
Okay, yeah. I don't know why I'm
yeah, it was
thinking
last
it was
year.
2 years when we started. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so getting ahead of myself.
That's not hard to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, time goes by so fast; it's hard to keep up, man. It's like we were talking
Does
about that earlier. You talk about kids and stuff. In the family, you're like, oh, they're like 15. Oh, the drive yet? I'm like, damn. So it definitely goes faster than I'd like it to. So
oh, I know. Like my sister's kids, my oldest nephew getting ready to graduate high school. I was like, Jesus Christ, seriously? Like the
mhm.
last time I saw him, he's like this high, and now he's
Yeah,
freaking
graduating is
as bonkers.
crazy.
It is.
But yeah, so hopefully get some new, and also Non-Point is back in the studio. So just
No.
seeing those guys are back in. So I don't know if they're just going to do some more singles or if they're actually throwing down some tracks for a full length or
Mm.
what's going on with that. But either way, I'm down for any new Non-Point. So
Maybe they're recording their next cover.
yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, you can't ever tell. I mean, hell, why not? You blew the last ones out of the water. Might as well. So
Hmm. Yeah, they do have a track record of putting together some good cover versions of stuff
yeah,
of songs. So
yeah, but you don't want to become that band either that always has a cover song. It kind of Five Finger kind of did that to themselves too. It's like, people were like,
yeah, they did.
"Oh well, there'll be a lot of cover songs." Not saying, I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of their stuff is good too, though. I mean, not saying it's bad. You just don't want to be that band that just. I mean, You might as well just be doing karaoke somewhere if that's
Right. Yep.
what you're going to do, you know. But yeah,
Yes.
so I'm down. I'm down with it either way. So
Yeah.
uh, new music is new music. So
That's how I'm looking at it.
yeah, they fuck it up, we get to tear them apart. So
The plus of having your own show.
that's right. Oh man. I guess we better get into some news of the week here.
Yep. Yep. I guess we should.
I actually got an added story, and then I actually got two added stories, but one is actually within the news, and then one's actually will coincide with hitting the road. So
Okay. All right. All right. Well, we will start off this week like we do so many times over at blabbermouth.net, and unfortunately, like we do many times, we going to lead off with the reporting of a passing. So over at blabbermouth.net, Barbara Schenker, sister of Michael and Rudolph Schenker of Scorpions fame, has died. She was only 56 years old. The news of Barbara's passing was shared by Michael, who took to his Twitter on April 13th to write, quote, "What a shock. I am devastated. My little sister Barbara has passed away so early in her life. I am so sad. I love you, Barbara. God bless you and rest in peace. Your brother, Michael." End quote. Back in 2007, it was announced that Barbara had reformed her German 80s heavy metal band Viva. Joining Barbara in the group's then incarnation was vocalist Mark Paganini from the band's classic lineup, alongside Rico Walsh on drums and Guy Ghost on bass. I'm guessing that's a stage name. Barbara formed the rock version of Viva after a short stint as a pop rock act in 1981 at a Scorpions gig in London, where she met Paganini backstage, inviting him to join Viva as a frontman. Barbara was voted Best Keyboard Player by Metal Hammer magazine in March of '85. So I'm sure there's much more that she did in her career, but unfortunately, that's all Blabbermouth has on it right now. Like I say, no cause of death. But yeah, I mean, 56 years old is
mm,
so.
unfortunate, that's for sure. So
Yeah. So our condolences to the Shankers.
whether they like each other or not, right?
Which they don't. So
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's gonna be an. I mean, we're not. I read that story. That's one of the first things I thought about. I said, man, it's gonna be an awkward funeral, especially with
yes, it
that both of
will.
them have to show up at the same, at the same time. Maybe that's
Hmm.
what's gonna, maybe that's what's going to throw them into burying the hatchet, though. I hate that has to be the thing to do it, but I mean,
Right.
you know,
I hope so too eventually, but I
yeah.
mean,
I mean,
yeah,
they're just too fucking talented to be at each other's throats, man. Like both of them.
yeah,
Like,
they really are.
it's sad to see that, but family will do things like that to you.
Indeed.
All right, my friend over here, um, Lawless, has written a lengthy blog post on his European tour raised concerns about his health. It has become obvious to many of you that either watching the shows live or on YouTube that there is something physically wrong with me, writes Lawless. There is. I've done my best to hide it, but there are times during many of the shows the pain is so overwhelming and it becomes impossible to disguise. Lawless then goes on to detail the injury, revealing that he is currently touring with a herniated disc in his lower back. The injury stems from an accident that occurred more than a decade ago when he broke his leg after being tossed off the back of a truck onto a pile of bricks. The nerve roots that attach to my spinal cord are inflamed, says Lawless. Effectively, the root nerves at the spinal cord are being choked, and that leads to the even greater inflammation that then moves all the way down the leg and reach into the foot,
That
causing
is,
numbness,
yeah, yeah.
weakness, and honestly pain you cannot imagine. Lawless reveals that doctors told him to rest and recuperate, but he was determined to continue the Wasp 40th anniversary European tour, which was originally scheduled for the summer of 2022, but was postponed for a year. Able to proceed with the dates after epidural injection. Medicine is injected, it puts pressure. And when we were there on Saturday, the pain was horrific, and the nurse looked at the table I was on. It was covered in my 20 minutes, and it hurts. Uh, this nurse there saw my whole body was shaking, and while the doctor was doing the injections, she reached over and started gently rubbing. Could not see her face, but she could see the pain I was in, and little she could do for me to stop it. I'm a big man, but I swear that I wanted to cry because here was a woman who had sworn an oath to help people any way she can. It hurt so damn bad, but just what was happening to me, and that she was there for me. It was like an eternity of absolute hell and tenderness all at the same time. I'll never forget her in that moment for the rest of my life. Lawless finishes by saying that the band are committed to finishing the tour and that he hopes to have recovered by the time Lost U.S. tour begins in August. So hopefully, shows here in the States. So
Yeah, and I know exactly what Blackie's
yeah.
going through. To a fucking T do I know what he's going through. It. I know exactly what he's going through. I've been through those epidural steroid injections. I've done everything for back with the exception of going under the knife. So I know exactly what he's all that pain radiating down into your foot and everything,
Mhm.
that nerve, that shit'll stop you in your tracks and drop you to your fucking knees. And it has. It it's awful. It's fucking
Mhm.
awful.
Oh man. Yeah, well, hopefully he can get healthy and get doing what he
Yeah,
loves to do without being in pain. That's for sure. So.
yeah, yeah. Because I guarantee you, if he's going through that shit, it doesn't take much it doesn't take much to up. I can be like, hell, the last time my back went all the way out, all I did was get out of bed and I was like on the floor.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it sucks.
Just takes that one wrong move, I guess.
It does. It does. All right. Staying over at Blabbermouth, System of a Down song Chop Suey recently crossed the threshold of 1 billion streams on Spotify. It is the first System of a Down track to reach the milestone. The Spotify accomplishment comes a little over 2 years after the music video for Chop Suey surpassed 1 billion views on YouTube. Chop Suey was the first single from System of a Down's second album, Toxicity, this released in August of '01, and its first Grammy nomination in '02 for Best Metal Performance. System of a Down guitarist vocalist Darren Malakian stated about Chop Suey, quote, "The song is about how we are regarded differently depending on how we pass. Everyone deserves to, like, if I were now to die from drug abuse, they might say I deserved it because I abused dangerous drugs. Hence the line, I cry when angels deserve to die," end quote. I never knew that. The whole meaning behind the song. I knew the lyric, of course, but I never knew the exact
Mm-hmm.
meaning. Now has toured intermittently since ending its hiatus in 2011, but has only managed to record 2 songs in the last 18 years. Protect the Genocidal Humanoids, released in November of 2020. The tracks were motivated by the conflict between Artsakh and Azerbaijan, with all proceeds supporting humanitarian efforts in System of a Down's ancestral homeland of Armenia. And we've talked about that before, so no need to drown on about that. So yeah, congratulations to System of a Down on that accomplishment.
Yeah, that's a big deal, man. Like a
It
billion,
is.
a lot, dude.
It is a lot.
I mean, even in Spotify,
Yeah, what is that math? Hang on.
I
Hold
don't know,
on.
7.0, what, 007 times.
Yeah, hold on. It's 7/10 of a cent? Is that what it is?
It's 0.007.
Okay, 0.007.
So 700s, I guess.
Seven
Oh,
hundredths of a cent? God, that's embarrassing.
yeah, it is. It is amazing. I think that's, I don't know if it's,
Well, I mean, one billion streams at 0.007 is 7 million.
yeah. So, I mean, you know, there's still a lot of money to be
That's
forking
still a
out.
lot of money. That's
Uh,
still a lot of money.
yeah. Bring us some more sponsors, Spotify. We're coming. We're coming. We're going to start listening to this shit on repeat.
That's right. Hell yeah, dude.
Fuck you up.
Yeah. It's we're gonna we're
uh,
gonna we're gonna come out with a playlist that's gonna be 20 songs long of nothing but chop suey
nothing but y'all say, uh,
on a loop, like you
oh,
say, on a loop.
on a loop. Yeah, we put that on a radio station when we get that
That's right.
figured out. Which,
Yeah.
I promise you, it's coming. I'm still having issues with signing in for some damn reason. I don't know why it's doing that, but
Yeah.
we're still trying to troubleshoot all that to have the radio up and going. So hopefully let's see, what is this? I'm hoping to have that like up and going by the end of the month. Um, anyway, my next one is over from what was that before? That's where I was over for. So staying with Metal Hammer. Um,
Okay.
in November of last year, Metallica dropped a surprise new single, Lux Eterna, alongside the news they would be releasing their 12th studio album, 72 Seasons, this April. Since the release, however, guitarist Kirk Hammett has been facing scrutiny from some Metallica fans over the guitar solo featured on the track, which many believe to be not up to scratch. In fact, some guitarists have even come forward to rewrite their own versions, which are often more technically advanced. In conversation with Total Guitar Magazine, however, Hammett rejects the idea that his solo is bad simply because it may not be difficult to play. States that his creation is actually appropriate for the song. Yeah, my fucking friends down the street could probably play a better solo than Lux Eterna, but what's the point? He says. For me, what's appropriate is playing for the song and playing in the moment. Speaking of the online hate his solo has received, he continues, I was just laughing the whole time. I could string together like 6 or 7 3 octave arpeggios in 16th notes, sit there every day and practice it and go, hey, look what I can do. But where am I going to put uh, arpeggios come on in a guitar solo mapped out like a lot of mapped out like a lot of people do 4 or 5 chords with a different arpeggio over each one. It sounds like an exercise. I don't want to listen to exercises and warm-ups every time I hear a song. Hammett has the only guys out there who I think convincingly play arpeggios as a means of expressions are Joe Satriani, Yngwie Malmsteen, and Paul Gilbert. Well, there goes Yngwie Malmsteen's head. Elaborating on knowledge of music theory while explaining how his soloing style has changed since playing with Metallica, he notes, I know my modes, Hungarian scales, symmetrical scales. I know all that shit. Is it appropriate? Maybe earlier in our time, but not now. What's more appropriate is coming up with melodies that are more like vocal melodies. And guess what? The
Chicken
best,
butt.
yeah, guess what? Yeah. The best, the best scale for mimicking vocal melodies is the pentatonic. Rejecting the notion that he doesn't appreciate technical playing, the guitarist said, I love from the heart playing, and I've heard real technical playing that's from the heart. Alan Holdsworth, Eddie Van Halen, Joe Satriani, Yngwie, they all play from the heart. But for a lot of guys, it's just like sports for the Olympics. Music is to reflect beauty, creativity, feeling, and life. There is a place and there's an audience for all that stuff. But I feel there comes a time when people just get tired of that. So that was what Kurt thought about it, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get it too. It's like people's like, oh, well, you can do this and do that, but I mean, think about it. Even from a different perspective. Take Thomas Hake's drumming on Bleed. You can't put that in a Nice Nine Kill song. It won't work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just like you got to, he's playing to James's vocals uh, at this point. Because James doesn't have all the growl and stuff that he used to do back in the day. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's a little bit more melodic, or I don't know if he's melodic. I don't think James has ever been melodic.
Well, no, no, but I
He's
get
never
what you,
been
I get what you're saying.
yeah, he's never been the songbird of this generation. But
No, but I mean, he's never been, he's never sang any gutturals.
well,
They've
right,
never,
right, right.
yeah, they've never done any of that. I mean, hell, you go back and listen to Kill 'Em All, and he's not hitting those notes anymore. For fuck's sake,
No,
his vocal cords are 40 years older than they used to be.
right, yeah. So it's like anything
It's
else, it
not
gets old,
happening.
and yeah, yeah.
You know, so,
Your car don't drive the same 40 years old. So I mean,
no, no, it does not. And I think the internet is a great place and a shitty place all at the same time, because I
yeah, I
mean, it's
agree.
just, I mean, is you're gonna have, I mean, hell, you're gonna have people tear down anything that you do, and
Hmm.
even if Kirk did play the guitar solo the way those particular people wanted it played, there'd be another group of people who would shit on that. So I mean,
Hmm.
it's just one of those things that if and hell, even I saw a story a couple weeks ago that said Lars Ulrich he has confessed to like reading online comments, which I mean, I get it, I probably would too, but at the same time, if you're going to lose sleep over every negative comment, then you're never going to sleep.
Right.
Because I mean, it's one of those things where you are literally never going to be able to please everybody all the time.
Mm.
So, funny thing is, like you say, that one solo was written for that song.
Right.
You you know me. You know my favorite song is The
Hmm.
Unforgiven. Well, I can't remember what I was watching. I was watching something that had to do with Metallica, and Kirk Hammett was actually they were talking about that song, and Kirk Hammett actually played the solo that he had originally written for The Unforgiven,
Hmm.
and the rest, like James and Lars, were like, no, you gotta tone that down, because
Hmm.
it was a good solo, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't a solo that fit the aesthetic of that song. So the
Right.
solo that's on the album and the one everybody knows is the one that's there. So whatever you think about the solo for Lux Eterna, it was written for that song and played for that song. Because yeah, there's a lot of shit trust me, there's a lot of shit that Kirk Hammett can do, but just because he didn't do it on that song doesn't mean it's a shitty guitar solo. Like we said earlier in the show, I think people are just shitting on Metallica just to shit on them sometimes.
Well, I mean, you don't play for two of the biggest thrash metal bands in the world and not and not be good at what you do. So,
Right. Yeah.
uh,
Right. So
yeah,
I don't
use
know.
with Exodus and now with Metallica,
Right.
you don't get to play with both of those bands by being a mediocre guitar player. So,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah. Exactly.
even though James said they were all mediocre, they're you know um, they sound amazing. But
Yeah. Well, I think
I think that was just an exaggeration of but
yeah.
I get what he was saying though. Is
Yeah.
we're all like we're not all that separate. I mean, we have to be together as one to make the music that we do. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, that's understandable. You got to have everybody doing their own part. Like you
Right.
said, if you're not doing that part, then the song sounds like shit. So
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
and the thing is, too, I say this is like, why would I go on here and shred them apart like that, even if I could play guitar, because I'm not making $300 million off Metallica, so
Hmm.
so why would they even fucking care what I think anyway?
No, that's the thing, is they shouldn't, because like I say, there's upwards of 8 billion people in this world, and there's nothing you're gonna do that's gonna please 8 billion people all at once.
And yeah, I don't know if anybody knows this, but the Lux Eterna had excuse me, had a special edition album vinyl that they only had limited numbers of that sold out in 6 hours. So,
Hmm.
so I mean, before as soon as it went on sale, 6 hours later, that was sold out. So,
Right. So I mean,
which is crazy. So,
it is crazy. Yeah. All right. Still over at blabbermouth.net. The guitar Eddie Van Halen used in the music video for Van Halen's Hot for Teachers sold for $3,932,000 during an
damn.
auction at Sotheby's. The
That's
custom-made
crazy.
Kramer Act had a minimum bid of 1.8 and was previously valued at between $2 and $3 million. According to stage used and filmed guitar was custom made by Paul Unkert of Kramer Guitars for Eddie Van Halen, including important innovations customized for Eddie's evolving guitar technique. It served as one of Eddie Van Halen's primary guitars in 83 and 84. The guitar was gifted by Eddie Van Halen to the band's retiring drum tech, Greg Emerson, around 1990. Emerson subsequently gave the guitar to his nephew, who sold the guitar to Neil's Music in Huntington Beach, California. Neil's Music then sold the instrument to its current owner. The guitar comes with a letter of provenance by Unkert, a signed photograph from Eddie Van Halen, its original case with Tour and Warner Brothers tags, and the straight jacket and white gloves worn by Van Halen in the video. That's cool as shit, too.
Yeah.
Unkert's accompanying letter details the guitar's history. Quote, the Hot for Teacher Van Halen guitar was built by me at the Kramer Green Grove Road plant in Neptune, New Jersey around 82 through 85, number C0176. Look for UNK stamps on neck and body. It was my last project for Ed and Kramer, end quote. Hot for Teacher appeared on Van Halen's album 1984. The Parents Music Resource Center, PMRC, objected to the song after its original release, calling for it to be pulled from both the radio and television due to the track's sexually suggestive lyrics referring to sex with a teacher and a female teacher stripping in the video, among other issues. All the things the video was cool for, mind you. In
Mm.
2009, Hot for Teacher was named the 36th best hard rock song of all time by VH1. The Hot for Teacher video was filmed at John Marshall High School in LA. Because the school had been shut down due to insufficient funds at the time the video was recorded, Van Halen not only paid to rent the school for 4 days of filming, but they also contributed money to the city to help get it reopened. See, boom, there you go. Fucking cool
Nice.
shit.
Yeah.
All I have to say is, I don't feel tardy.
You know, opened it up with that stripper money.
That's right.
Just imagine they was telling us in 1984 the things that was going to happen in 2004. So, uh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, you're right.
because a lot of those students would be able to partake in that kind of sexual fantasy at that point. So,
Yep.
unfortunately, but
Yeah, good, bad, or otherwise. I mean,
that's why they hate teenagers. They can't ever keep their mouth shut.
right.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah. I'm just kidding. I don't condone those actions at all.
No, no,
Uh,
no, absolutely not.
uh, anyway, my next article here is one I shared on our group page there.
Mm-hmm.
Over from a kind of a new. What am I trying to say? A new. Oh crap! Anyway, it's a new place. I get shit from.
Okay.
This is why we don't do this shit at night anymore, man. I can't. My brain's fried at this point.
Well, hell, you're halfway through your work night at this point. You should be all right.
Yeah. Well, I probably would be if I didn't wake up at 11 o'clock this morning. But
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
yeah, because I got a kid. I got a kid here waking me up, telling me they want to eat. So
The nerve.
I know, right? Like 3 year olds can't fix their own food. Like shit.
I know, man. Back in our day, 3-year-olds used to go get jobs.
Yeah.
Maybe in China, but
I was cutting my own potatoes before I was potty trained. Just it's been well over 20 years since Sabotage released their last album, Poets and a Madman, in 2001. Of course, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra took over, and then we saw the tragic loss of leader Paul O'Neill in 2017. Legendary publisher, chief editor of Rock Hard Grease, for an exclusive update on the new record. John says, I just got home from the studio where I was working on some Sabotage songs. I was sending stuff back to Johnny Middleton, the bass player, and Caffery. I'll tell you something, this Sabotage record is going to fuck. Yes, I made a lot of mistakes like that before, and I don't make them now. Release it next April so we can all come and play the summer festivals next year. There's no way we're going to rush it for any reason, because this will probably be the last record we ever make, ever. I want to make sure it's a 10 out of 10 album, and the fact that Zach Stevens and I are going to be together on some songs and doing a duet makes me even more excited. Deliberately, I wrote 6 or 7 songs specifically for Zach to sing. I worked on some songs with Al Petrelli, which are definitely for me. There are a couple of epic songs where Zach sings some parts, I'll sing some parts, and then we'll sing together on some of them. It's the best record I've ever.
Wow.
Walkout's been on a song or two. That was a real surprise. Jeff Plate on the rest, Johnny Lee Middleton, Al Petrilli, and Chris Caffrey, Zach, and me. There will also be Jane Mangini, who is playing a few things, and probably Vitaly Kupre. Even drummer Steve Walkout is in 2 or 3 songs. For example, if he thinks it's worth it, I want everyone involved from the beginning. I want it to be a full band record where we all work together, and it's going to be a great one. And then they add, says the working title is Curtain Call. I don't know if it's really going to be that in the end, but the very last song that's going to be on the album is going to be called Curtain Call, and it just me and a piano, and it's very deep. It's basically me singing to the fans, telling them all goodbye and thank you. Every time I hear it, I cry. Everybody I play for, but it's my way of saying goodbye to everybody. Thank you all. Love you all. This is my final goodbye. Thank you. Have a good life. So I think I'm going to call Chris. We have like 40 or 50 songs. It ain't going to be easy to trim those down. With any leftovers, I'll put out a bonus CD a year later. We'll start recording in June, and we'll be working continuously with orchestra rehearsals. After the TSO tour, we'll be back in the studio in January or February. And we'll have it out next year on Chris's birthday, April 3rd. Then we want to I want to play back. Sorry, I want to play everywhere, and that's it. This will be my way of saying goodbye to the world. I want to tell our fans how much I love them. They provide my livelihood. I don't want to let them down. I'll be there next summer too to play these festivals and kick some ass. So, and for some new Sabotage music next year, that's like
I'm in for that.
I'm crazy because he said there's like 40 or 50 songs they've gotten, to like track. I'm just like, damn. So that definitely could be some new Sabotage music without touring, I guess, at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe.
With that many in the back burner, or maybe they could, maybe they write it and sell it to somebody else. There's a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of power metal bands that would probably be happy to use some Sabotage music.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Sabotage was one of the bands that I followed early in my metal. When I come up in metal. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. All right, I am heading over to Metal Injection for my last full story. I've got stuff for the headline segment.
Okay.
So going over to Metal Injection for this one. This one's a little on the lengthy side because there's a lot of quotes in it. So I may kind of sort through this on the fly. But anyway. Suicidal Tendencies has parted ways with drummer Brandon Pertzborn and has recruited viral drummer Grayson Nekrutman. In a social media post, Pertzborn congratulated Nekrutman on his new position and offered only praise to the dude, which is awesome to see. Some positivity goes a long way. And yeah, we say that all the time. Quote, for the past almost 2 years, I've been so unbelievably fortunate to play with the almighty Suicidal Tendencies. Musically and personally, it's been some of the best times of my life. Every single person in the band crew will be lifelong friends of mine, and they have all filled my heart with joy these past couple of years. I've learned so much during my time in ST as a person and as a musician. As a person, I can't say enough good things about everyone in this camp. It's a true family. As a musician, the amount of growth I've experienced is priceless. I mean, come on, you can't be in a band with Mike Muir and not end up being pushed as a musician and come out better than you were before. The thing about life is there comes a time when you have to make decisions, hard decisions, and they're never based on one factor alone. They're based on many factors: where you are in life, where you've been, where you want to go, what's best for you at the time, what you think the future will look like, and so many other personal factors. And with this, I've made the difficult decision to leave Suicidal Tendencies. Rest assured, the band will still be firing on all cylinders. My boy Grayson Nekrutman is an absolute monster and is going to kill it with ST. They all have my full support, my full love and support. As for me, I'll have more news soon. I ain't stepping away from drumming anytime soon. In the meantime, I can't thank everyone involved enough in Suicidal Tendencies for everything. Man, what an honor it's been. I'll always look back on this time and smile. The crewman also commented on his situation and even posted a photo with Suicidal Tendencies frontman Mike Muir and Pertzborn. Quote, it's an absolute honor to fill such an iconic drum throne. It wouldn't be possible without my brother Brandon Pertzborn, and I can't thank him enough for passing down the torch. He is an incredible role model, and I am so excited for everyone to find out what he has next. Saturday night in Philly, headlining the Decibel Metal Fest, was an absolute blast. Lots of great times and memories, but a little sadness too. Usually we'd post some pictures of the live show or a video, but this is a picture of me with two of the finest people and badass drummers you'll see. Being in Suicidal, I've had the honor of being on stage and recording with some absolutely amazing musicians. So there we go. A little bit of a changing of the guard for Suicidal Tendencies there. So
yeah, well, I mean,
all totally amicable, which is what we like to see. If change does have to be made.
Well, I mean, you're looking at a band that's been around since the '80s. I mean, a lot of these bands, a lot of players like drummers and stuff like that, sit in that position for so long, and they start having health problems, and you can't continue, and things like that. I mean, everybody's not a what was his name? Blotzer. He was a ripped up guy when he was playing drums. So he looked like freaking you know, like a Triple H arm coming down when he was playing. I was like, damn, this dude's huge. Uh, but, but yeah, so everybody can't be like that. So I don't know if you heard that, but I got a message like right in the middle of you. I'm right in the middle of you uh, doing that story, and
Oh, did
it
you?
was actually it was actually John O'Connor again. So I'm not going to go into details because it's actually going to be cool. We may be doing a first with him on a couple things, so so
Cool.
just know that. So just keep tuning
Nice.
in to the Metalheads Unite for that, and we're talking probably summerish. So probably here in the next couple months. So
Very nice.
yeah, so yeah, I'll fill you in off air, but yeah,
Well, of
I don't
course,
want
yeah.
I don't want to
Cart before
put
the
all
horse.
right there. You go. Well, you know me. I'm kayfabe city anyway. So
That's right. Yeah. Yep. That's right.
yeah, the less you know, the better. So
That's
uh,
right. It's still real to me, damn it.
that way when it happens, it's like oh shit,
Yeah.
but yeah,
My
it's
God, that's John
he
O'Connor's music.
he he actually proposed something to me, and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude! Yeah, that'd be a first for us too." So yeah, we may be down to do a little something. So
hmm
all right, so my last one is over from Loudwire. Have speaking of Mike Portnoy, him having a
Oh shit!
birthday.
There we go.
So have you ever bought a piece of band merchandise and noticed a mistake on it? Well, Mike Portnoy has, and it was a typo in his own band's merch, but he didn't catch it. But he didn't catch it for 8 years.
Oh damn.
So the drum legend uploaded a selfie on Twitter where he was wearing a zip-up sweatshirt from the Winery Dogs Double Down World Tour that took place in 2015 to 2016. The Paul logo and text located on the left side of the front of the sweatshirt read 2015 2106. And Portnoy made a shocked facial expression to show his surprise. He's like, I pride myself on how meticulous and anal I usually am with overseeing every detail of all the merch, artwork, layouts, etc. for all my bands. Imagine my surprise when I only now just realized the typo on this Winery Dogs hoodie that I've been wearing for the last 8 years. He said, "Oh my God, that's a long tour." Somebody responded jokingly,
Yeah.
while others noted that would be a 91-year track. But
Jesus. Yeah.
it said some other fan replied, "Not a typo, just a long tour, still shorter than the Kiss final tour, but still long." So, uh, the Winery Dogs are one of Portnoy's many musical projects. The supergroup, which also features Richie Kotzen and Billy Sheehan, formed in 2012. So the 2015-2016 tour referenced in the Portnoy photo is likely in support of their 2015 sophomore album Hot Streak.
Yeah.
So that's pretty wild, man. I like that the fans have fun with that too. So,
Yeah. That's funny.
so.
You know what that is though? Have you ever seen that thing on Facebook where it's just like a long ass paragraph where it's all misspelled,
Mm-hmm.
but every word has like the first letter and the last letter of every word correctly, but the body of every word is spelled wrong.
Right.
And it's one of those things where,
Just didn't know.
supposedly there's some psychological thing to where if you know how to read and you've been reading for a long time,
You just
if
read it anyway.
you can read it anyway, if as
Mm-hmm.
long as like the first and last letters of every word are in the right place, if the body
Right.
of the word is jumbled, you just kind of literally just muscle memory, just read the entire thing. And this
Yeah.
thing's got like, I mean, this whole thing's got like numbers in place of letters and shit like that, but you can read the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That may be, I mean, hell, it may be a little bit of
Could
that,
be.
because
Yeah.
20,
It was definitely like a dyslexic moment or something because
right.
they just flipped the one and a zero. So
Sure. Yeah.
it could have happened to anybody, but I still
Yeah.
think that's funny. It took him 8 years to notice it
Oh, it
was.
is hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
It's like,
That's,
wait,
yeah,
does
that's
this
great.
say? Wait, this says 21.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't think the winery dolls will be around in 2106.
No, probably not.
Not in body anyway. Their music
Mm-mm.
will live forever, but uh,
Hell no.
It's a good thing about music. It'll live forever. So
That's right.
all right, I got a few other headlines, and then I guess you can jump in with whatever you have. I didn't have a lot, so
Okay, that's
I
fine.
don't know what all you got, but the first one I had was late ACDC frontman Bon Scott's going to have his pop figure from Funko released. I think it said July, if I'm not mistaken. Um, So look forward to that. I can add that to my musical side of collection, I guess. So,
Mm-hmm. Oh
uh,
yeah.
Jason Newsted said he has nothing but mad respect for Metallica, saying they sound killer right now. So I mean that's good news to hear from the former bassist there. Which
Mm-hmm.
then Chris Cornell's early 1990s era rock icon statue is coming from Knucklebones. If you know
Yep.
Knucklebones, they do some pretty good work there. So
Yeah, they do.
they did some Cliff Burton stuff and some other stuff. So
Yes.
then Metallica lands their first #1 album in the UK in 15 years with 72 seasons. So congrats. Like I said, I mean, you can't argue with numbers. I mean,
Mm-mm.
whether you
You
like it or not, you can't argue
right.
with
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing. So, and like I said,
Like it or you don't like it, it's the best thing going.
yeah, learn to love it.
That's
but
right.
uh, but I think like the thing was that I think one of the other headlines I've seen said the best Metallica album. Our #1 album. It was the first #1 album since Death Magnetic, which to me just kind of shows you the part media plays in this stuff. Because to me, I mean, like I said, to me, and you said the same thing that Hardwired was much better than this album.
I think so.
But I mean, like I said, that just goes to show you the media wasn't behind that one as much. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Voivod will release their 40th anniversary album, Morgoth Tales, in July. Brent Smith says Shinedown will never be put in a box unless you get a box set of them. But
Also true. Yep.
I think he was talking about musically. He don't want to be confined to one thing. Which
Yep.
if you've heard Shinedown albums, they're not. They're kind of heavy, and then they get there, then they go in the middle, then they get heavy again. So I mean,
I like that though. I like that.
yeah, they're kind of all over. And I mean, Brent Smith has one amazing voice. So um, let's see. Living Dead Girl arrives at prom in a hearse and a coffin. So hey, what better way to arrive than
Nice.
than that? So I'm sure everybody's going to remember that prom entrance. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Dave Lombardo says he could still play all his Slayer drum parts. That's freaking crazy. Uh,
I'm
hint,
not
hint,
surprised. Yeah,
hint,
I'm not
hint, hint,
surprised.
hint, hint, Tom. Hint, hint.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Big hint.
Rock dominates over half of Billboard's new top 10 highest grossing tours of all time. But
Hell yeah.
Rock's dead. So
Yeah, it's dead. Yeah, totally dead.
um, 3 Days Grace reunites with their first singer Adam Gontier on stage, playing two songs together, which I think that's pretty cool because
Yeah.
they kind of had some pretty significant differences when he left originally. So it's
Yeah.
good to see them bury the hatchet and do some stuff together. So.
Yeah, it is.
Then two Motley Crue headlines here. Motley Crue and Fall Out Boy are NFL Draft Concert Series headliners. I mean, how far are we going to go with this NFL shit? Like, we're going to have a concert for the fucking draft.
Yeah, who the hell cares?
Drafting #1 looks like hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. Then Motley Crue are officially recording in studio with producer Bob Rock, and from what I've read, Nick Mars is nowhere to be seen in
No.
that scenario, unfortunately. So we'll see. But that's all I had. So I don't know what all you had.
Okay.
If you had something to add to it, you feel free. So
Yeah, I have a few things, but I mean, just get through them real quick. You already mentioned Bon Scott's new Funko Pop figure, but Slipknot's Corey Taylor, Ghost's Papa Emeritus the Fourth, and you talked about Chris Cornell and his Knucklebones. Well, Soundgarden as a group is also going to be getting their own Funko set.
nice.
So Corey Taylor, Ghost, Papa Emeritus the Fourth, and the band Soundgarden is going to be getting the Funko Pop treatment. And then what else do I have? I think the other stuff I have. I think the other headlines I have basically go with hitting the road. So
Okay. So we'll go into that then. We'll go into hitting
sounds
the
good.
road. But
Oh yeah,
I gotta get a soundboard. I swear.
yeah, we do.
I'm trying to get so I'm still working on one of the reasons. Like I was telling you earlier, we spent the day cleaning out the garage and stuff. So one of the reasons we did that is because we're trying to get the outbuilding ready
Mm-hmm.
to move all of our uh, computers and stuff out there to where we can
Right.
work out there.
Yeah.
So you kind of be out of the way and out of the house, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So
A
so we're
little bit
trying.
of little bit of a change of scenery too doesn't hurt.
Well, no, but I mean, that way I can, could put my all of my stuff out there and have my podcasting studio uh, with my work studio all in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be
Yeah.
lot simpler, I think. But anyway, this this part of hitting the road, I did a story here from Metal Injection. The Dominion Festival was to take place between May 5th and 7th at the Ushaw Historic House, Chapels and Gardens in Durham, and would be headlined by Blind Guardian, Orange Goblin, and Skindred. The festival has sadly been canceled due to less than 5% of tickets being sold with less than a month to go, with organizers issuing a statement apologizing to everyone. Organizers state that they're accepting losses in excess of £100,000 and that all ticket holders will be refunded. After intensive meetings and discussions, we have had to make the heartbreaking decision to cancel the Dominion Festival. This is a project into which we have put vast amounts of personal money and over a year of our team's time. But the reality is that with less than 5% of tickets sold, the losses to run the event would exceed £250,000, and we can't go ahead with the festival without risking our employees' job security or putting at risk people's ticket money or bands fees. We didn't go into the festival scene to even consider the idea of putting anyone's money at risk except ours, but we simply can't afford to run the festival with such low sales. The only ethical decision that could possibly be made now is to accept defeat, gut wrenching as it is. We tried everything and committed all we had, but pushing this any further forward would risk us joining the pile of promoters who have failed to refund customers after using ticket money to fund a failed show, or not paid bands or suppliers for the show, neither of which is something that we would entertain even for a second.
Mm-hmm.
We're sure with hindsight, everyone will know where we went wrong and will no doubt think of them all ourselves in many of the sleepless nights to come. Even so, we're forced into the decision of accepting losses that already exceed, like I said, £100,000 to ensure that no one loses except us. If we push it any further, we couldn't make that same guarantee. All ticket holders will receive an email within 24 hours confirming that all ticket holders are being refunded automatically to their payment method, and all bands and suppliers have also been contacted to ensure no one is out of pocket. Please, when contacting our team about queries, bear in mind that our employees didn't make this decision and try to. We're genuinely sorry and gutted, and that we can make this happen and have to bring you the news, but we gave it a real go as we really wanted this to happen and build a rock and metal festival that this region deserves. We were fully prepared that for the first few years the event would lose money, but we couldn't have predicted sales to be at such a low level as to make the event impossible to stage financially and logistically. And we thank everyone who has. So unfortunately, there's a festival that's not going to happen. That
Mm-hmm.
I kind of look at it this way too, though. At some point, there's going to be too many festivals. I mean, you gotta fucking draw the line somewhere. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
can't have 4 festivals in a month and think you're going to sell it out. I mean, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Especially so much going on overseas like that. I mean, there's festivals after festival over there. So,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have as many here, but we still have a lot. So
Right.
it's, there would be no way in hell in June or July. No way, because I mean, there's so many going on already like that
Mm-hmm.
in June and July, which I think is good. When we talk about the Metal Devastation Festival, I think it's good that they chose what they did because it's kind of after the festival season. Kind of like people tend to say, oh, well, after the end of September, that's kind of the end of festival season. Well, I mean, not necessarily. It kind of depends on what you do. I think that's probably where a lot of the ship cruises and stuff come in. Is because the actual festival season kind of ends in September. So
Right. Yeah. Well, and then the cruise lines also go to like the warm places too. So I mean,
mm-hmm.
which makes
Exactly.
sense. Which is another good reason. Which is another good reason. That, which is another reason why I like the festival here. Is it's at the very very beginning of October. So all
Mm-hmm.
that summer heat and humidity is gone, and
Right.
the Well,
You got a
at
little
least
you got a little chilly at night, but I mean you're
it get
expected to.
it did get chilly at night, but the weather during the day was phenomenal last year.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was.
perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so
Also with the cruises, you got. I think they're doing it during the hurricane off season too. So
well, yeah, there's that too. Yeah,
uh,
there's definitely that too. So, all right, well, not to be outdone, over at the PRP, this year's edition of the annual Manor Fest has been canceled. That event had been scheduled to go ahead at Whittleberry Park in Whittleberry, UK on May 26th to the 28th. A statement from the festival organizers was shared this week on the ultimate fate of the fest, which was due to feature headlining sets from Moonspell, Overkill, My Dying Bride, and more. Here's what the
wow.
organizers had to say. Quote, for the last 12 months and more, we have worked endlessly to create and stage a fantastic music festival after the disappointment of having to postpone last year's event. We are dreadfully sorry to have to deliver the news that again, Manor Fest will not go ahead. No matter how many apologetic words are used to describe the situation, we know that it is impossible to put across to everyone just how devastated we all are. But here we are, all of us, totally devastated. We believed that after all the issues we experienced last year that led to the postponement, that we would now have the knowledge and hindsight and indeed added backup and support to successfully implement Manifest 2023. However, 23 has turned out to be even more difficult than 22. Despite working with some fantastic equipment suppliers and other contractors, and with real support from Whittleberry, costs have continued to spiral upwards, and significant deposits are required before any equipment can be booked and supplied. We have spent many tens of thousands of pounds in attempting to get this festival off the ground, but we now have to admit failure. This was always about creating a uniquely alternative heavy metal festival. It was never seen as just something to make money from. However, with our personal losses now around six figures, we cannot carry on. We know from our experiences last year that many people will now be able to say, told you so, and feel vindicated regarding their comments and will again wish to publish similar thoughts. The reality is that it is now practically impossible to get a new festival off the ground unless funds of circa £250,000 are available up front, which for most operations is a non-starter. The UK's future metal festival scene appears now to consist of already established festivals. Despite a comprehensive approach to marketing the festival on social media and other online platforms, the creation of an exciting new website, and with many of our bands actively also marketing the festival, we were not selling enough tickets to go ahead with the festival. Feedback online on all the socials has been very good. People generally love the lineup, and Wayne worked immensely hard to sign some of these amazing artists in the first place. We have lost count of the number of posts saying how they love the lineup and are going to be buying tickets, but unfortunately, in the whole scheme of things, not just yet. Failure to sell enough advance tickets, whether due to dire economic situations or people's reluctance in case the festival doesn't go ahead, has now become a self-fulfilling prophecy and has led to the cancellation. As a business, we cannot survive, and we are taking steps to close the company completely. We cannot thank enough those people who have supported us by rolling their tickets over from last year, and also those people who have bought for 2023, and our deepest apologies for not being able to stage Manifest. Those who purchased tickets in 23 via Whittleberry booking engine should apply directly there for refunds. Those who have purchased early bird tickets direct from the Manifest site, and ticket holders who have rolled over from previous years should contact their card providers to facilitate chargebacks against the company. We have email addresses for all our ticket holders, and the liquidators will be in touch with all in the near future. Any queries should be addressed to info@mentorfest.org. Wayne will be in touch shortly with those who have pre-booked and paid for vendor pitch fees. People who have booked Whittleberry hotel rooms should contact the venue direct. Manorfest, end quote. It hasn't been a great week for UK metal festivals, as this week also saw the cancellation of the one you just talked about amid low ticket sales as well. So kind of a double bummer for the UK over there.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Though, is like they have so many festivals over there already, man. It's hard to be
Yeah,
successful, man. Like, I mean, you almost
yeah.
have to. Maybe it was the time frame of the event. Maybe you hurt them. I don't know, but you know, definitely definitely harder to do there than it is here. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so do you have another story that went with that, or
Well, I have another story that I guess that we can use to lead into the actual heart of the segment here. Anthrax has canceled all of their summer European tour dates due to the once again ugly monster of logistical issues. They canceled all of their fall 2022 touring activities over there in
yep,
Europe for the exact same reason. So it's like we said before, when you got a band the caliber and the career that Anthrax has had, when
and they
yeah,
can't get.
yeah. So so yeah, Machine Head, not Machine Head. We'll get to that. So Anthrax will not be going to Europe again this year, which is disappointing because they were going to go to Wacken, they were going to go
Mhm.
to Metal Days in Slovenia, Brutal Assault in the Czech Republic, Alcatraz in Belgium. So I mean, there are some major league festivals that they're not going to be able to make it to. So
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. Like I said, you got a band like Anthrax that can't. I mean, how you expect some band like like the Torch or somebody like that to do it? I mean, it's
mhm.
definitely definitely hard over there.
Yeah,
Man, it sucks, man, because a lot of bands are pulling. I mean, Machine Heads had to cancel stuff because visa issues. Like everything's
yep,
becoming an issue from here to there, or
yep,
from there to here.
yep,
Vice versa too. So
yeah,
it's almost like, hey, they're forcing you to play in your own countries, and that's it. Which is not fair. I mean,
no,
because that's not a world tour. If you can't come,
mm-mm,
you can't tour the world. I mean,
nope,
uh, yeah, I think it's crazy because I was just looking at this. Like we're live on Facebook, but it's not in the group. I don't. That's weird to me. Not sure why it does that,
that is
but
weird.
yeah. But
But
I can go to like watch live, and it shows Metalheads Unite there, but it doesn't.
hmm,
It's not showing up in the group, which is weird. So
that is very strange.
I'm gonna try to push it in there right now. See
Yeah.
if it'll.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and I will start the hitting the road segment. Even though
Well,
we,
I mean, I got like two, so
Oh, okay. All right. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
and then I'll let
I was
you
gonna say since we
I'll let you roll. So.
okay, I was gonna say since we technically already started it, basically.
Well,
So
yeah. So the only two that I covered, I was trying to cover the festival thing because that's kind of
hmm
usually what I try to cover for you. So, but I did see Parkway Drive, Amity Affliction, North Lane, and Make Them Suffer announced the fall 2023 tour that kicks off on September 10th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Coca-Cola Roxy, which I have been to. It's a nice little venue.
nice.
And then ends on October 7th in Sacramento, California at the Aftershock Festival. So there is one uh, I guess festival after September, which is California, so it's always going to be
hmm
70, 80 degrees out there. So,
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
the Hailstorm Ball Beat announced the summer 2023 North American tour that kicks off July 12th in Toronto, Ontario at the Echo Beach, and then ends on August 9th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the Wisconsin State Fair, which I thought was crazy. Like, we can't get no metal acts at the Tennessee State Fair. What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
uh, Fozzy or something. Come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, that would be fine.
I
That'd
mean,
be
yeah,
fine.
I mean something. Like when I seen that, I said, "Really, the state fair is like funding ball beat and hailstorm?" Like, wow, that's wild, dude.
hmm Yeah.
Wisconsin's a pretty big metalhead state too, though. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, it is. Well, hell yeah, they got the Milwaukee Metal Fest coming back. So,
they got a couple of festivals that go up there. They got one that goes on at was it Cadot, or however how they pronounce that.
I believe it's Cadot.
Yeah,
All right.
but that's all I
Well,
had. So
all right. Well, then rolling into my part here over at the PRP.com. Like I say, this is 2 weeks worth, so kind of strap in. I'll get through it as quickly as I can.
yeah, I mean,
Uh,
where's my
Void.
pill at?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you take it out. Void of Vision, Like Moths to Flames, Varials, and Anna Lynn are going to Australia starting August 11th in Brisbane at the Triffid, finishing August 20th in Perth at Magnet House. This one is interesting to me. Death Clock, Baby Metal, and All That Remains guitarist Jason Richardson are going on a tour in the summer and fall, starting August 30th in Houston, Texas, at the 713 Music Hall, finishing October 11th in LA at the YouTube Theater. They will be in Nashville at the Municipal Auditorium on September 5th. So I don't know. That one could be interesting.
That's
Um,
crazy. But
yeah,
Baby Metal and Death Clock are like total opposites. So
they are, and I'm not really. I would go for Death Clock. I don't really personally give too much of
right,
a shit about Baby Metal, and Jason Richardson's a hell of a guitarist for All That
yeah.
Remains. But so that one's a maybe for me. Rolo Tomasi, the Callous Cowboys, and Pound are going on a U.S. tour starting June 6th in Denver at the Bluebird Theater, finishing June 20th in Seattle at Substation. No Nashville date there. I Am Morbid is going on a European tour starting August 1st in Vilnius, Slovenia at Metal Days, finishing August 19th in Dinkelsbühl, Germany at Summer Breeze. Sparta is going on a 20th anniversary tour with Jeff Rickley and Zeta starting March 4th, or May 4th, rather, in Mesa, Arizona at the Nile Half House, finishing August 12th in Dallas, Texas at the Southside Music Hall. They'll be in Nashville on June 12th at the Basement East. Black Tusk and Howling Giant are going on a very, very short tour in May. Those tour dates are May 25th in Charlotte at the Milestone, featuring Restless Spirit. 526 in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Poorhouse, 527 in Baltimore at the Baltimore Soundstage for the Hell and the Harbor Fest, and 528 in Richmond, Virginia at the Richmond Music Hall featuring Restless Spirit. Suffocation is going on a summer tour of Europe and the UK starting June 16th in Clisson, France at the Hellfest, finishing July 15th in Anis,
Mhm.
Anixsky, Lithuania at Devilstone Festival. I know I didn't say that city right. I'm sorry. Um, Butcher Babies is going on a summer tour of Europe with Five Rand, Crash Karma, and Monster Magnet making appearances at select dates, starting June 15th in Dessel, Belgium, at the Grass Pop Metal Meeting. There's another European festival,
Yeah.
and then finishing July 1st in Helsinki, Finland, at the Tuska Open Air. There's another one, and we talked about Tuska Open Air last week with Arched
Hmm.
Fire. So
Yep.
Infected Rain is going to Europe this summer, starting May 27th in Kronach, Germany, at Die Fistung Rocht. I don't know what that means in Germany. In German, rather. Finishing September 16th in Lindau, Germany, at Club Vaudeville. See You Next Tuesday and Meth are going on a very short Midwest tour, starting 518 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the X-Ray Arcade, 519 in St. Paul, Minnesota at the Amsterdam Bar and Hall, 520 in Madison, Wisconsin at the Annex, and 521 in Peoria, Illinois at the Peoria Pizza Works. 0936, Cane Hill and Geordie Perp have some shows set up in May. May 10th in Fort Wayne, Indiana at Pierre's, May 11th in St. Louis at the Old Rock House, 514 in Kansas City, Missouri at the Encore, May 15th in Nashville, Tennessee at the End, so there you go, and May 16th in Grand Rapids, Michigan at the Stash. Skylit Drive is having a 15th anniversary tour for their Wires and the Concept of Breathing album, starting May 12th in Albuquerque, New Mexico at Launchpad, finishing May 20th in San Antonio, Texas at Vibes Underground. No Nashville date there. Under Oath, The Ghost Inside, We Came as Romans, and Better Lovers are going on a summer tour of North America starting July 15th in Mansfield, Ohio at the Incarceration Festival. No, We Came as Romans and Better Lovers. Finishing August 19th in Santa Ana, California at the Observatory Festival grounds. No Better Lovers, and no Nashville date for that tour. Quicksand is going to be in Europe and the UK in October, starting 10:16 in Berlin at SO36, 10:18 in Hamburg, Germany at Logo, 10:29 in Cologne, Germany at Gebaud 9, 10:21 in Manchester, England at Gorilla, and 10:22 in London, England at the Islington Academy. Jason Newsted's Newsted Project will be playing their first show in almost 10 years at the Revolution Live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on May 20th. Atreyu is going to Europe and the UK for the first leg of their We Want Your Skulls World Tour, starting November 12th in Dublin, Ireland at Academy, finishing December 13th in Stockholm, Sweden at Kluben. Zao, Narcissus, and Samnuri are going on a July mini tour, starting 7/27 in Harrisburg, PA at HMAC, July 28th in Cleveland, Ohio at No Class. I'll hold off on the Ohio joke there. July 29th in Indianapolis, Indiana at Post Fest, and that's going to be Zao only. July 30th in New Kensington, Pennsylvania at Preserving Underground. The Acacia Strain, Integrity, and Tribal Gaze have set up some shows for June, those being 6/13 in Cleveland at Beachland Ballroom, 6/14 in Pittsburgh at Preserving Underground, 6/15 in Louisville at the Portal, 6/16 in Cincinnati at Legends, 6/17 in Birmingham at the Sloss Furnaces for the Benefit Bash. Tribal Gaze will not be there at that show, and 6/18 in Durham, North Carolina at the Motorco Music Hall. Ginger has announced some headlining shows, which will be off-date shows from their tour with Disturbed and Breaking Benjamin. Those off-date shows start July 24th in Lubbock, Texas at the Garden and finish August 25th in Niagara Falls, New York at the Rapids Theater. No Nashville date for the off-date shows. Flogging Molly, The Bronx, and an opener to be announced are going on a North American tour this summer, starting August 17th in Denver, Colorado at Mission Ballroom, finishing September 16th in Detroit at the Fillmore. No Nashville date there. Sanguisugabog, Jarhead Fertilizer, and Stabbed are going on their own mini tour, starting May 30th in Fort Wayne, Indiana at Pierre's, May 31st in Huntington, West Virginia at The Loud, 6-2 in Philadelphia at Underground Arts, 6-3 in Brooklyn, New York at St. Vitus, and 6-4 in Boston, Massachusetts at Middle East Downstairs. The Convalescence, Summoner's Circle, and WOR are going on a tour starting June 3rd in Toledo, Ohio at the Toledo Death Fest, finishing June 24th in Battle Creek, Michigan at the Music Factory. No Nashville date there. Summoner's Circle was just announced for their return appearance at the Tennessee Metal Devastation Music Fest.
Yep.
Baby Metal is going to Europe and the UK starting November 14th in Oslo, Norway at the Centrum Scene, finishing December 11th in Madrid, Spain at the Palacio Vista Alegre. Rivers of Nile has announced some summer headlining shows, which are going to be off dates from their tour with The Buried in Me and Thank You Scientist. Those dates are June 22nd in Burlington, Vermont at Higher Ground, July 6th in Billings, Montana at Pub Station Tap Room, July 14th in Bakersfield, California at 1933, and July 19th in Odessa, Texas at the Ekdor Theater. Wednesday 13 is going to be going on a 21st anniversary tour at Gemini Syndrome, Infected Rain, and Black Satellite, starting October 20th in Los Angeles at the Whiskey A Go-Go, finishing December 9th in Colorado Springs at the Black Sheep. There's no Nashville date, but they will be in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Concourse on November 30th. Life of Agony is going on a 30th anniversary tour for their River Runs Red album with Sick of It All, starting August 8th in Poughkeepsie, New York at the Chance, finishing August 27th in New York at the Knockdown Center. No Nashville date there. Omerta, Moodring, and Gates to Hell are going on a tour in June, starting June 9th in Chicago at Cobra Lounge, finishing June 24th in Houston at The Secret Group. No Moodring at that show. No Nashville date on that tour. Bad Wolves is going on a spring U.S. tour. Supporting acts are pending. Starting May 19th in Angola, Indiana at Eclectic Room, finishing May 31st in Bismarck, North Dakota at Laughing Sun Brewing. No Nashville date there. Wage War 0936 Within Destruction and Avoid are going on a North American tour this summer, starting July 6th in Vancouver at Harbor Event Center, finishing July 22nd in Buffalo at the Town Ballroom. No Nashville date there. The Agonist is canceling their European touring plans due to costs, and Machine Head is canceling their spring U.S. tour due to those visa issues that Jason alluded to earlier.
Nope.
Yep. Iron Maiden has announced a trio of West Canada dates, those being September 28th in Calgary at the Scotiabank Saddledome. They went backwards with this one. September 20th in Edmonton, Alberta at Rogers Place, and October 2nd in Vancouver, British Columbia at Rogers Arena. Moving over to blabbermouth.net, finally, Wasp with their The 40th Never Stops North America tour, starting August 4th in San Luis Obispo, California at the Fremont Theater, finishing September 16th in Los Angeles at the Hollywood Palladium. There's no Nashville date, but they will be in Memphis, Tennessee at the Soundstage at Graceland on September 7th. Avenged Sevenfold and Falling in Reverse is going on a North American tour. This is leg 2. Starting September 16th in West Palm Beach, Florida at the I Think Financial Amphitheater, finishing October 15th in Fort Worth, Texas at the Dickies Arena. They'll be in Nashville at the Bridgestone Arena September 22nd. Motionless in White, In This Moment, Fit for a King, and From Ashes to New are going on a summer tour, starting July 8th in Uncasville, Connecticut at the Mohegan Sun Arena, finishing August 19th in Albany, New York at the MVP Arena. No Nashville date, but they will be in Memphis, Tennessee at the Soundstage at Graceland on August 8th. Dream Theater, Devin Townsend, and Animals as Leaders are going on a tour of North America starting June 16th in Cedar Park, Texas at the HEB Center at Cedar Park, finishing July 26th in Phoenix, Arizona at the Arizona Financial Center. No Nashville date there. Sleep Token is going on a U.S. tour starting September 8th in Alton, Virginia at the Blue Ridge Rock Fest, finishing October 7th in Sacramento at the Aftershock Festival. No Nashville date there. And And everybody's Uncle Ted Nugent, has scheduled his Adios Mofo 23 retirement tour starting July 20th in Shipshewana, Indiana at the Blue Gate Performing Arts Center, finishing fittingly enough for the Motor City Madman in Detroit, Michigan at the Michigan Lottery Amphitheater at Freedom Hill. No Nashville date there. Cavalera, Exhumed, and Insight are going out starting August 29th in Albuquerque, New Mexico at Revel, finishing October 18th in LA at the Wiltern. No Nashville date, but they will be in Knoxville at the Concourse on September 6th. And last but not least, Extreme and Living Color are going on tour.
Hmm.
This one's a doozy. Check this shit out. Starting April 29th in Cape Canaveral Cape Canaveral Trailer Village, Florida, at the Monsters of Rock cruise, and that actually goes from the 29th
Yeah.
through May 4th. So that's like a 5-day cruise. The tour ends September 26th in Osaka, Japan at the Zepp Namba.
Jesus.
5 months.
That's a tour.
That's a tour.
Yeah.
And no Nashville date there.
He
So
said, that's how y'all do it, youngins.
that is exactly how you do it. So all
Yeah.
of that is the Hitting the Road segment from April 8th through April 21st.
I hate that most of those shows are going to be in Memphis because I have no desire to go that far. So,
Mm-hmm.
or to go to Memphis, period. But people think we exaggerate about Memphis, but I remember there was a joke whenever the tornadoes came through here a couple of weeks ago that Mother Nature was like, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to hit Covington, Tennessee." He's tornadoes like, "I got you, fam," and then he's like, "Oh, then I need you to go over and hit Jackson." All right, I got you. So then I need you to hit Memphis. I said, "Hold the fuck up." So it's always funny. They always make jokes about Memphis, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's good parts to Memphis, but you just never hear about them.
Right.
Those don't ever make the news, unfortunately. So,
That's
uh,
true.
oh man. All right, I guess we will move over to our theme of the week. For some reason, it doesn't add up, but we.
There you go.
Uh, but theme of the week is we we didn't decide. I kind of put this out there and decided to go with a mathematical theme of the week, and of course Chris said Common Core math, or regular math, and I was like, well, hey, it's all game, it's all math. So I mean,
Yeah.
so or in our case, it's metalcore math, but
Right. That's right. That's
uh,
right.
anyway, these are my contributions to that. It's going to be a pretty decent playlist, I think. So I started out with Non-Point, Divided and Conquered Them from the Poison Red 2016. Then I went with Buried Tomorrow, Forced Divide, the Seventh Son 2023, which is from their new album. Then I went with Light the Torch, The Great Divide from Revival 2018. And then I went with a different form of math here. So, so then I went with Sepultura Subtraction from the Rise 1991. Then I went with Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast from the Number of the Beast album 1982. Then I went with Slipknot -1 from the Point 5, The Grey Chapter 2014. Then I went with Stone Sour's Absolute Zero from House of Gold and Bone Part 1 2012. Then I went with Downswing No Solution, which is New Low from the New Lows EP from 2022. Then I went with Soulfly, No Hope Equals No Fear from Soulfly 1998. Then I went with the Ghost Inside Aftermath, the Ghost Inside 2020. Then I went with Shadows Falls, Divide and Conquer from Fire from the Sky 2012. Then I went with Demon Hunter Less Than Nothing from Summer of Darkness 2004. And then I went with Pantera Tense, The Great Southern Tranquil 1996. So that was my contributions there. So
You seriously didn't go with the Evil Divide by Death Angel?
no, I didn't.
Neither did I, because I thought you were going to.
Well, we'll add it. We'll add it then. So.
That was actually like the first song I thought of. I was like, hell, Jason's gonna have that one.
Yeah, I kind of like to. I kind of like when I sent you the link to the show. I was actually when I was doing this, so that lets you know how tight framed I was today. So,
Oh man! All right, yeah, we'll definitely get that song added. Absolutely,
yeah, actually,
absolutely.
I'll write it
Yeah,
down. So
yeah. Go ahead and do that. All right. I will admit I got off to a slow start with this one, but I ended up with 11. So,
there you
um,
go.
Yeah. So my contribution, starting off with Ghost Division by Sabaton off the Art of War from 2008. Then I went with Freiheit by Null Positive off of their album Independence from 2020. Then I went with Divide by All That Remains off the Order of Things from 2015. Then I went with Minus Human by Metallica off their S&M album from 1999. That was always one of those songs with No Leaf Clover that I wish they would have done a
Right.
studio version of, but unfortunately they didn't. So it is what it is. But I still liked it. Um, then I went with Prime by a band called Essence off of their album Prime from 2015. They are a thrash band from Copenhagen, Denmark. Unfortunately, they are split up at the moment. Then I went with 40 to 1 by Sabaton off the Art of War from 2008. That's the first time I've taken two songs from the same album from the same band, doing one of these lists. But, 40 to 1's a ratio and it works. So then I went with Fifth Column by Accuser off of the Forlorn Divide from 2016. Then I went with the song Do the Math by Minus Blindness off of their album Vile Veil from 2011. They are a thrash groove metalcore band from Salvador, Brazil. They are currently on hold.
Ah,
Then I went with Drake Equation by Avalanche off of their Interstellar Movement album from 2019. They are a sludge slash thrash metal band from Vienna, Austria. Then I went with 2 plus 2 equals 5, which it doesn't. But from Star One and their album Victims of the Modern Age from 2010, they are a progressive metal slash rock act from Emmeloord, Netherlands. It is actually the side project of Arjen Lucassen of Arion. So so yeah, I kind of discovered that one during my research today. It was a little different, but I liked it, so I threw it on there. Then last but not least, I went with Minus by In Flames off of Reroute to Remain from 2002. So
nice. Yeah, that's my fault because actually I was looking at In Flames because I knew there was a song. I was like, I know they have a song that has to do with something math. I knew they did, and, and you found it. So
yeah, there you
there
go.
we go. So it got on there regardless.
Yeah, it works out.
It'll be a pretty decent playlist. So
Oh yeah, and no doubles this time.
which was pretty wild. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
figured we'd at least have a couple, but
Yeah.
yeah, cool. I actually expected you to use Slipknot's "People Equal Shit," but you didn't.
Oh, damn it.
uh,
Well, let me just add that one now. That way,
had that one down.
that way, that way
That's
it
why.
gets.
That's why. Honestly, that's why I chose the negative one because I was going through it. And I said, "Yeah, he'll probably do that one." So I was like,
Yeah,
so I tried to go a little bit under the radar with some of the stuff because I didn't want to be too obvious.
yeah.
So of
Well, that
course
one
I,
did.
of course, because I didn't do Death Angel, but
Right. All right, I'm gonna make sure that one gets on there anyway.
that's
So
another reason why I did No Hope equals No Fear too, is because people equal shit. And I'm like, I don't want to do two equals, but
right.
and then two
Uh,
Slipknot songs too. I already pushed the envelope with Slipknot and Stone Sour, both both
well,
on here. So,
yeah, yeah.
so anyway, all right, yeah, that'll be a pretty good one.
Oh,
So,
that'll be a good one.
yeah, yeah, I still haven't. I still haven't shared the link for the what you call it.
Oh yeah,
So I wonder if I can do that now since we got everything situated.
should be able to. Yeah.
Let me see here. Um, where's it share? Awesome.
Hey, there it is. I see it.
There we go.
Nice.
Hi, I'm getting the hang of this shit.
Yeah. Nice. There it is.
There's the playlist for the week anyway. So I hadn't even put it in a group yet. So yeah. So
There it is.
all right. So now I guess we will get into our album review session this week.
Hmm.
I never did even tell you what album I was going to do, which was
No, you
crazy.
didn't.
So hey, surprise!
Yeah, it will be a surprise.
I just knew what you were doing, so I was like, well, he's doing that one. Actually, this one was I don't even know if this was on the list. Honestly, let me see.
Really? Okay.
Yes, it was. It was on there.
Oh, okay.
but the problem was is it was like when you look them up, the band's Frenzy, and there was an older band called Frenzy. There was like a three piece, and they were just kind of I don't know like folk rock type thing. So it was
Oh,
so
okay.
I had to like put in the album name and everything to even find them. So it was one of those you had to put everything in to search them. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that happens sometimes.
but anyway, I took Frenzy of. Did they say no, okay. Of Hoods and Masks is the name of the album. It was actually got a kind of a album cover that kind of depicts kind of what we went through for the last couple of years. So
Nice.
pretty cool.
Of hoods and masks. Interesting.
Yeah. So they are a band out of Madrid, Spain. Been active since 2014. I like the theme. They said the theme is comic books, which is kind of wild because a lot of their album covers kind of look like
Nice.
somebody drew comics. But,
Hell, we
yeah,
did. Comic books was the theme a few weeks ago.
I know, right? Like, we could just use all their songs if we knew
Yeah,
that.
we could have.
But anyway, current members are Chaco on bass, Luis Pinedo on guitars, Anthony Stephen on vocals, Pablo Bazan on drums, and Billy Bonsai on guitars. So the last two there are recent adds to the
Hmm.
band. So Pablo joined drums in 19, and then Billy joined guitars in 2022. So Halo Scars posted a video. I have to watch it.
Right.
uh, anyway, this is the band's second full length album. It's 8 songs, 31 minutes, 17 seconds, so not very long. It's got like a very old school sound to it. I kind of reminded me of some old school Testament, maybe even some Paul Bostaff era Exodus.
Oh shit. Okay.
So yeah, it was definitely kind of right in that era of stuff. So
Yeah, that's going
uh,
back a ways.
yeah, it definitely is. But I mean, it had enough modernization to it, though. I think to
Nice.
separate it. You know what I mean? So it didn't sound like it was actually in the 80s.
Gotcha. Yep.
But definitely has some great guitar playing on this. Is almost you could almost hear like maybe some like guitar battling going on within the songs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
All right.
it's kind of cool when you can actually hear that and instead of like going live and like this is oh they're doing it both together, okay. So so you can actually hear that in here, so it's pretty cool.
Nice.
It's almost like a distinction between the lead and the rhythm, I guess. You
I
can
gotcha.
actually you can actually hear that distinction in there, so which is pretty cool. There was a track on here called "Spectre of Love," and I kind of felt like it had some Dokken vibes to it, kind of like a heaven sent or something. You know,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
it was like it was slowed down, but it wasn't quite enough to be slowed down enough to be called a ballad. I guess
Okay, I gotcha.
if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You know, it may be considered a ballad to those guys, but I don't know. But
Right.
because, like I said,
Quote unquote. Yeah,
I've
sure.
only heard this one album. I actually want to go back and listen to their first album because see what it sounded like. But vocally, this Anthony guy, he can hit some high notes throughout it. So I mean, he's definitely got the range to do some good diversity there. So, uh, but I did like the way like that. There was a couple of songs like there was another song on here too that did that. It kind of started out like real slow tempo and then like built up and then it just stayed built up when it got there. So
Yeah.
pretty cool. Of
Hit.
course, I was a minute and 16 intro, so you know there was a negative for me. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that intro kind of fit with the album theme though. So I mean, I kind of don't want to shit on it too bad uh, because like I said, I'm okay with it if it kind of feels like I could look at the album cover and listen to that and feel like okay, this I could see where this is related to the album cover.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So, but I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. I liked it. It was pretty good. So,
3.5. 3.5. Not bad.
and
Not bad.
I'm actually in the middle of the new Anthem album. Of course, if you don't follow Anthem, they've been around since the '80s too. So,
Mm,
it's so far it's pretty good.
nice.
So definitely keeping the '80s '80s music alive. A lot of these bands are. So it's pretty
Man,
crazy.
man, dude, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I mean, I think
No,
it's the
no,
thing
no.
with I think it's the thing with metal. I think we got to have that diversity, man.
Hmm.
We don't need the same. I mean, if everybody just comes out screaming all the fucking time, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, which don't get me wrong, I like that. But when you hear like every band, like I will listen to some stuff sometimes when I'm going through this playlist. I'm just like, dude, I mean, you're nothing distinct about it. You know what I mean? I guess is what I'm
Hmm.
trying to say. So it kind of gets repetitive into like an all that remains, and as I lay dying, and you start saying, oh well, this sounds like all these other bands. Like
Yeah.
so it's kind of like you're not doing anything to like stand out, and I think you
Yeah.
have to now. I mean, you do
You
because
do.
so many bands are sounding like that. Brand of Sacrifice just had a new. I'm not a big Brand of Sacrifice fan because they do a little bit more of a deathcore uh,
Hmm.
type sound, so I'm not really into it. But is freaking amazing, dude. Like he can hit those gutturals and then come right out and screech. It's just amazing to me that they can do that within a tempo of a song. It's crazy, but I mean,
Yeah.
and a lot of vocalists aren't talented like that. Johannes from Avatar is like that too. So
He's got incredible range.
yeah, and like for the longest, I thought there was two singers in Avatar until I saw him live. I'm just like,
Right.
wait, he's doing all this by himself. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But
That's one of those bands I still haven't seen that I want to. So
oh man, so like I
yeah,
haven't seen them headline anywhere. I'd love to see them headline a show.
me too. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've only seen them at festivals. So
Yeah. All right. Well, my album review this week was the new album In Memoriam by Evermore. They are a power metal band from Karlskrona, Sweden. They are a three-piece consisting of Andreas Wiklund on drums and backing vocals. You have Johan Carlson on guitars, on bass, on piano, and on the orchestrations, and Johan Blitz Haraldsson on vocals, lead vocals. This is their second full-length album. Court of the Tyrant King came out in 2021, and as luck would have it, I actually reviewed that album in 2021. It didn't
oh,
dawn
did
on
you?
me. It didn't dawn on me until I listened to the entire album and started writing up this review. I was like, wait a minute. It didn't dawn on me. And I was like,
Sounded
wait
for
a minute.
all of us started sounding familiar.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. What the court? So I was like, Court of the Tyrant King. What the fuck does that sound familiar? And I clicked on it. And I saw the album cover. I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, I've listened to this damn band before, which I mean is a good thing. But
Well, I knew when
um,
I heard the single, I put it actually on my playlist. I said, "Damn, that's that." And you tell me you were listening to it. I said, "Oh yeah, that's right up his alley." So
yeah, yeah. And then In Memoriam came out today. The album is 9 tracks with an asterisk, 41 minutes and 9 seconds because it's got one of those 1 minute and 18-second instrumental intros, which unlike yours, I didn't really care for this one. It was totally unnecessary, I thought. Um, but yeah, like you, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
yeah,
This
exactly.
one, this one was just kind of pointless as far as I was concerned. Um, One thing, I guess, since I've listened to both of the albums by this band now, I can get a better gauge. What I liked about this album in relation to the first one is, now don't get me wrong, it's a power metal album. It was like you said, it was right up my alley. One thing that I liked about this album was every song was different. There were no songs that sounded like any of the other songs on this album. The guitar work was phenomenal. The drumming was good, but there were some songs in the middle of the album where the main drum line was kind of cookie cutter and pretty static and didn't really change much. So I kind of locked on that and couldn't really shake it for about 3 songs. So that was a little bit of an annoyance. And then track number 6, "Broken Free," had one part where they slowed it down to a ballady type pace, and I didn't really care for the composition of it. I'm all for a power ballad. That's totally fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. But the way the song was going, and then they completely put the brakes on, and then when they did that, I didn't really like the way the song went from there. Thankfully, when the song ended, it picked back up in tempo, so they kind of redeemed the song. But
Yeah.
there was one part of the song that I could have done without. But
I always hate
now,
those. I always hate those. Like I had another like when I was going through the songs to put on the playlist, there was another song from a band that I never heard of, and I was playing it, and it started out, and I was going like, yeah, I like this, right? It was like, and it was just like, hey, I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so it was such a drastic change in tempo and composition that it was so noticeable that it was like that it did it got my attention in like the opposite way that I think you would
Yeah,
want you would want a song to get your attention. So,
um, um,
it was almost a little jarring, to be honest with you, but I mean,
yeah.
overall the album was still very solid minus that dumbass intro from front to back. From front to back, it was very well done. Johan Haraldsson has got an amazing voice to the point where didn't think it was a male singing until
Oh
about the
wow,
until about the fifth song, and I was like, wait, holy shit, this is a dude.
ooh, that
And
reminds me.
then and then once I like I say once I started doing research on the band, I was like, holy shit, I have heard this band before. So I had initially, when I was listening to the album, I forgot that I had listened to the band for one, and then they had a male vocalist for two. So, but he's got a hell of a range. You definitely can't take anything away from his vocal range. So I'm going to give this one 3.5 out of 5 as well. So
Nice, couple of three nice, cool.
yeah,
Um, so was you ever a Flyleaf? Did you like Flyleaf?
I wouldn't exactly say I was a fan.
Okay,
I got to I did see Flyleaf once. They were who were they? They were opening for Stone Sour,
okay.
and they put on a pretty decent show.
Mm.
Actually, I take it back. I take it back. They weren't opening for Stone Sour. Flyleaf, Stone Sour, and Disturbed were all on a bill together,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
and Flyleaf was the opening band. But Lacey Sturm was still there. So,
I remember,
um,
like, I seen them at BuzzFest, one of the first BuzzFests, and
mhm.
they were on the local stage. They weren't even on like the main stage at that time.
Yeah,
Like we called them, and I told Susie, I said, "Man, this is really different." And I said, "I expect this to go somewhere because it's so different."
yeah,
And then I think the following year, or maybe even been 2 years, but I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they wound up on the main stage at that festival like
hmm
a year or so later. But then I think maybe in that same year, the year after, they were opening up for the Family Values tour with Korn and Stone Sour and Seven
hmm
Dust, and I mean there was a lot of bands. I think Deftones was on that bill too. I mean, there were pretty big bands on that bill. So, and the
hmm
tickets were $10. So,
Well, there you go.
yeah.
Yeah, there
So
you go.
yeah. So Family Values for a reason.
Yeah,
But
no
anyway,
shit.
there's a band that just came out. It's this as everything unfolds, and they remind me a lot of Flyleaf, which is not a
Oh,
bad
okay,
thing
okay.
because I don't think you have anybody out there that can pull off a Lacey Stern voice.
Well,
So
thankfully, she's actually back with them
right,
now.
right, right. But
So
I'm just saying too.
yeah,
You're
so it's
talking
good.
about they've been around for 25 plus years at this point.
Hmm. Yeah,
So for having a new band to come out and sound like that's pretty. Like I said, this is cool because you're getting that sound kind of alive. We've talked
yeah,
about that many times on here. So,
yeah.
but yeah, if you want to check them out, they're pretty cool
Okay,
too.
yeah.
But another band that I thought you'd be interested in that I was actually going to do my initial review on was called Kingdom of Tyrants. They're Architects of Power. That's another one I'm actually going to check out. I got about two songs in,
Okay.
and I was like, then I was like, yeah, I don't know about this one, but I'm actually going. I didn't want to do an official review on it because
Hmm.
I didn't get to listen to it as much as some of the other stuff. And then
Right.
I was like, oh well, this one's only 8 songs. I've already heard four, so, so might as well just do
Yeah.
the review on it.
Right.
So, but
Okay, I'll
yeah,
check that one out.
yeah. So I'm gonna check that one out too. Just and we can kind
And
of
then,
see what we think about it.
oh, as everything unfolds. Okay. Yeah, I'll
But,
I'll uh, I'll make note of those two albums. I try to listen to them this week for sure.
cool, cool.
Yep. And that'll lead into what we've got on tap for this coming Friday,
Mm-hmm.
April 28th. Let's see. Leading off over at heavymusichq.com with Alceste and Le Voyage de l'Âme. That's a re-release. We have Alistair with Nightmare. We have Allokyria with Commotion. Austere with Corrosion of Hearts. Brave the Sea with Lady Death. Chrome Waves with Earth Will Shed Its Skin. Clarion Knell with Abyss of Fear, that's an EP. Crack Up with Blood is Life, that's a re release. Cradle of Filth with Trouble in Their Double Lives.
Mm.
The Crown with The Burning / Eternal Death, re release. Crown the Empire with Dogma.
Mm.
Danava, but nothing but with Nothing But Nothing. Darker Days with The Burying Point. Dead Express with Game Changer. Defiled with The Highest Level. Drog with Darkfire Heresy. Elephant Rifle with Broken Water. Elven King with Reader of the Runes. Emissary with a self-titled EP. And Enchantia with Cerberus. Enforced with War Remains. Erdling with Bestia. Fardeau with The Den Has Become an Abyss. Fatuous Rump with I Am at Your Disposal. Fiat Nox with Opium to Insidious Slumber. That's an EP. Fimblevet. It might be Fimbleve. I don't know. With Portal. Fires in the Distance with Air Not Meant for Us. Flitcraft with House at the Center of the Universe. Geobia with Acid Disorder. Graveworm with Killing Innocents. Hammerfall with Crimson Thunder, the 20th Anniversary Edition. Haraway with I Don't Want to Be Here Anymore. That's an EP. Hawkwind with The Future Never Waits. Hollywood Undead with Hotel California Deluxe Edition. Iblis with Unholy. That's an EP. Ignia with Dreams of Lands Unseen. Iron Master with Weapons of Spiritual Carnage. Kal Akuma with Turia. That's an EP. Karma Vulture with Something Better. Carry On with Tales of the Past. The Best of Carry On. King Potenaz with Goat Rider. King Zex with In the New Age, The Atlantic Recordings, 88 to 95. King Yosef with An Underlying Hum. Lawrence Wallace with Life Force. Lord Mortem with Dead Christ Baptism. Lost Circus with a self-titled album. Lucifuge with Monoliths of Wrath. Mars Red Sky with Mars Red Sky. And Queen of the Meadow, that's an EP. The Medea Project with Reflections. Messa with Messa live at Roadburn. Nautha with Metem Psychosis. Necronomicon with Constant to Death. Numeron with Road to Valhalla. Ocular Trauma with The Dissection of Tragedy, that's an EP. Old Dirty Buzzard was with What a Weird Hill to Die On. Old Dirty Buzzard.
No.
Orphans of Dusk with Spleen. Orsak Oslo with In Irons. OSM with Plagued by Doubts. Panic Attack with Don't Stop. Pierre Gonella with 667. Piledriver live in Europe, the Rockwall Tour. Pestilence with Beliefs of Dead Stargazers and Soothsayers. Redshift with Laws of Entropy. Riverhead with Cancer. Ross the Boss with Legacy of Blood, Fire and Steel. We have Rune Magic with Beyond the Cenotaph of Mankind. Rush with Signals, that's obviously a re-release. Sasil with Ephemeral. Savage Existence with a self-titled album. Screaming Bones with And It'll All Be Good. Sentinel Sirens with Orbathon Wave. Sinner with Born to Rock the Noise Years, 84 to 87. Sleep Sculptor with Divine Recalibration. Sour Brandy with Unglory. Spotlights with Alchemy for the Dead. Staff Party with Dread, that's an EP. Super Heaven with Jar, that's a re-release. Swollen Teeth with a self-titled EP. Terra Maze with Dalla Volta. Trapeze with Midnight Flyers Complete Recording, Volume 2, 74 to 81. Tunic with Wrong Dream. Twisted Illusion with Upstairs to Optimism. Unborn Prophecy with Waking Our Ancient Memories. Underexted? Maybe it's supposed to be underrated. I don't know. It's under with an X in there, so underexted. I don't know. That's the way it's spelled. I don't know if that's the way it's pronounced. With Carnage, Vadiot with Spear of Creation, Valgrind with Millennium of Night Bliss, Vanta Black Warship with Last of the Hardmouthed Poets, Wallowing with Earth Reaper. That is the end of that list. So again, no shortage of albums to choose from, which is nice.
I'm definitely gonna check that Swollen Teeth out. That's Jason McMaster's new band. So,
Yep.
I don't know if it's new, but it's his newer band, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
So,
but yep, that'll do it.
Awesome. So yeah, definitely some heavy hitters on there too from Cradle of Filth and
yep.
And a few others I heard in there, Elven Kings and all that good stuff.
Yep.
So
I think let's see who else was in there.
There's another C band.
Crown the Empire was in there.
Crown the Empire, yeah.
Yeah, Crown the Empire.
Which I'll definitely probably check that out because that's kind of up my metalcore alley. So.
So. Hollywood Undead. I know you and Tyler will probably want to listen to that.
Yeah, I mean it's I mean, they got some. They've released some newer stuff that's
That's
maybe
me.
maybe wasn't on the original or something. Maybe that's why they're doing what they're doing. But
Oh, okay. I got you.
yeah, so,
I
but
got you.
so there's like a couple of tracks I think it's going to be added on this one. So
Oh, okay. I get it. I get it.
yeah, yeah.
I
So
got you.
yeah, but I mean, it's not too bad. Hollywood Undead is one of those bands where you either like the song or you don't. There's never an in between. I mean,
That
I'm serious. It's just like that
happens.
because they're you kind of mixing rap with metal,
Hmm.
to an extent. It's not
Right.
like it's not as Linkin Parkish, you know, but it is kind
Yeah.
of the same. I'm trying to think. Oh man, I would say like Suicidal Tendencies type back when they were first started. They kind of had a little rapist sound to them.
I got you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I mean that's kind of Hollywood Undead in a nutshell. But like I said, there's either songs on there that I like, or there's songs I just no. I'll listen
Right.
to it. I'll listen. I can tell by the chorus if I'm going to like it or not. So,
Yeah.
and I can't do it, or hey, this is pretty good. So
Hmm.
kind of just depends on I think their music options that they put with it. So
Sure. That makes total sense.
all right, well, we were back with regular show today. So
Hmm.
still got some irons in the fire for some possible interviews coming up. So I haven't heard back from Andy. I don't know if you've seen that
I
conversation yet,
did.
but
Yeah, I
I
did.
haven't heard back from him yet. So I'm not sure what he's got planned. He said he was down to do it, so I guess he's just
Yeah.
trying to make see what he wants to. Because another band overseas, so I probably have to do a
Hmm.
Saturday morning with that one, but that's okay.
Hmm.
We definitely can't do a Friday night and a Saturday morning though. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
we can't be up to 1 in the morning and then do a 10 o'clock too. So
Right. So, well, it's just that's just one of those things. I mean, I know it's kind of weird because
yeah,
we switched our show time to 10 o'clock on Saturday on Friday night. So this is our new regular time. But
right,
when we secure one of these bands from overseas, now we're just gonna move to our old regular time at 10 o'clock just to do
right,
an interview. So
right.
I know it's a little strange, but hey, but that's what you and I talked about when we decided to make this change, that if we had to do if we had to do an interview on Saturday mornings, we would just do that. So it
Mhm.
works out. It still
Yeah,
works.
yeah. We'll see what happens, I guess. And then, of course,
Hmm.
there's, working on John O'Connor, getting him back on. So,
Right. Yep.
yeah. Because I'm probably way he's talking. We're probably shooting like June, maybe. So, but
Yeah, that'd
it's
be fine.
fine. So, it's all good.
Yep.
All right. Well, hopefully everyone enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
And you can always go back and catch the interviews on YouTube, and like I said, I'll upload that to Spotify as well if you guys want to
Hmm.
listen to it while you're driving or something. I know it's kind of harder to do that when you're on videos.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, it is.
so I'll try to get that. I'll try to get that Arch Fire on Spotify
Yep.
by the end of the weekend. So
Yeah.
all right. So if you guys enjoyed it, thanks for stopping by, and until next week, uh, keep those devil horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Thanks,
Peace out.
guys.